Hello, so today I'm going to be talking about an older piece of mine, um, one that was made in the period between 1998 and 2000. So, and I actually don't have the actual date on here, because I was only very haphazardly, um, I was only haphazardly signing these things, and I didn't think there was really at the time. Maybe I thought there wasn't like an ideal place to put it. I mean, I could sign there, probably I would do now, but back then I was like, I didn't want to ruin the integrity of the picture or something. But I'm doing like where I've scanned it in because I can see it. I can zoom, as always, I can zoom in quicker, and it is just easier to do the recording that way. Now, this is a piece where I've got obviously the original. It's a two-element collage, because sometimes all you have to do is swap out the one thing, and it makes the picture. Now, this I like the idea of using the light and prism, partly because I'm a fan of Pink Floyd and of Hypnosis's artwork for the cover of Dark Side of the Moon. So it's a kind of a little bit of a reference to that, and it's also maybe also a bit of a reference to subject matter of the album of basically what causes madness, and war is one of the things, one of the elements of madness that is madness of humanity. So within that album. So and this is where I had taken cut out the prism and one of the front face of the prism here, and I'd put in from this is from a reproduction of from one of Leonardo da Vinci's sketchbooks, and so got this screaming man. He's in some kind of torment or anger. So that's why I chose the title "The Prism of Hate," and an alternate title originally was "My Hate's a Prism," by which is a line from "Irresponsible Hate Anthem" by Marilyn Manson. But I thought maybe that conveyed the fact that I was someone who would be emanating hate, or the subject matter would be, and or another person would be. So I thought the prism of hate would be a better title, because it also sounds a bit like the prison of hate. So that prism of hate is also a prison of hate. So you are contained by your own anger and hatred. So that was the main part of this, and it also makes it's also one thing that's a bonus is the fact that the image is square. So it's like, or squarish, square enough. Where, as always, I go on about this a lot. Record covers, because that is uh, um, my starting point. And I was watching a documentary about hypnosis where Noel Gallagher from Oasis, one of the people interviewed, and he said he'd read somewhere, he didn't come up with this, but he read somewhere that the that record covers are basically the art collection of the working class, or something like that. It's not an exact quote, but it is like that. So these canvases, so instead of these mass produced canvases, instead of buying something for an exorbitant amount, what could be considered an exorbitant amount of money. I mean, for especially for older artwork, um, it's instead of having putting these very expensive, delicate canvases on your wall, you've got them on the stacked up on the floor next to your record player. So and this is from back from when there were 12-inch vinyl or 7-inch singles. So then he went to CDs, and how he explained it to his daughter is the album artwork is the little square you get on your Spotify or iTunes. But this kind of the whole thing of record covers hasn't died yet. People are still buying this solid state media, and there's a resurgence in vinyl. And part of the experience is this. If this was a record cover, it's this the cover of it. This is why I have my favourite record covers series, is because they are the art collection of the working class. Although they're becoming more expensive now. But so back to this, it's enough like Dark Side of the Moon where it could reference it, but it's more of like a an accurate um, Prism, because it's actually a photograph of one, of with the light going into it and splitting off, but then also you have it splitting off here. So the dark side of me had the more of the simplicity, and it basically it had, so that's why you had the dark. Well, the dark space there was also from the text, from the illustration. Storm Thorgerson nabbed the idea from a kid's textbook. So that's where that came from. He basically copied it, made it his own a little. So in here, I decided to embellish it a bit more, be a bit more forthright and abrupt about it. And I'm happy with how this turned out. I do very much like it, and it's one of those ones again I can look back on and say, yeah, I'm glad I'm happy that I made this piece. There are some I look back on and it's like, what the hell was I thinking? And now I would consider those like little scribbles or collage scribbles or sketches, as it were, or ideas, things that sometimes you'll find anybody who's watching this who does that artwork, you'll find some that you do that look like a good idea in your head or thought might work out, and then afterwards it's like, I'm not really sure this was the right idea to do. This one was one of the ideas that was the right idea to do. So let me know what you think, whether you like it or not. I could make it a little darker if I wanted to make it really like the dark side of the moon, but that's not that big a deal. Anyway, and I don't want to get sued, but that wouldn't get me sued. Let me know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe. The description has my merch links and my link tree, which is which has my merch links and my socials. And it also mentions about my Patreon. And down at the bottom there should be a give thanks button. So do any of that you want or none of it. At the very least, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I shall speak to you soon. Thank you.